Hello. Welcome to Painting with Dr. Zombo. I'm glad that you made it by. Okay. You'll notice that I'm not using my usual Dr. Zombo voice. This is a very personal thing for me. I'm not used to painting in front of people, so it's a little new for me. So let's do this together, okay? Tonight I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to show you some paints. By the way, if you're coming to see Suave or some Dr. Zombo analogies or whatnot, you're kind of shit out of luck. I do apologize. But I'm sure there's a cat popping out of a box somewhere on the million stations on YouTube that you can go enjoy and laugh and giggle, or watch a fat kid get hit by a car or something and think that's fucking hilarious. But tonight we're just going to chill, okay? We're going to talk about paints, we're going to talk about brushes. We're going to make that quick because I kind of want to get right into it, and I want you to get into it too. So first thing first, okay? We've got these paints here, okay? Probably seen them before. Can you see that nice and clear as you can? Probably a little blurry, whatever. You get the idea. It's got a big apple on it, okay? They're called Apple Barrel. It's cheap. It's cheap, okay? Don't be fooled by some of the stuff out there where they, you know, you walk into like a Michael's or something like that. Nothing against Michael's. I actually dig on the joint. But you look around at the paints and you just get mind-boggling. You got $20 little tubes of tiny stuff like that. I use acrylic paint. Oil paint is great if you can manipulate it and it works for you and you've got the patience and right on. I personally don't. I don't have the patience that I probably should for being an artist or a creator or whatever you want to call it. These little cheap paints I like personally because they're not too thick, okay? You can manipulate them. You can get really ghosted images that you can build off of. You can build up and you can really get into it with the theory of chaos painting, which I would love to say that I created myself, but I know I'm probably full of shit on that, and I don't really care to look it up and find out if I'm the only one who thinks this way. You release, you give textures, and at the very least you have a really nice background to pull things from. This is when you don't actually have an idea, but you got a feeling, you got this thing, you know, it's like you kind of want to see and create. I might show you an example here in a little bit of one of my older pieces, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now, I did paint the background of this chunk of wood black. You know, this is not old or weathered like I typically like to paint on, but I'm also doing a video for you, and I don't want to scare you away from the idea of trying something new with too much texture, okay? So the reason why I do black is there's a lot of depth. It helps with the shading later. It gives a dimension while you're painting that helps with the creative process. You'll also know I'm only using this little bit of light here and a candle. The reason why is it, for me, instead of guesstimating where my light source is coming from, I work off the light source that I have. To me, it makes more sense. Now you already have natural shadows and whatnot. It helps with the dimension of depth. It takes it away from the two-dimensional and gives it a more three-dimensional feel. It doesn't matter if it's cartoony, it doesn't matter if it's avant-garde, abstract, whatever. You can get more depth. Another thing I would like to say is when you're painting, I use as little paint as possible and spread it. There's times for a lot of paint and there's times for a lot less paint. People sometimes will get overzealous with the paint and it gets too thick and it's hard to manipulate and you don't have time for it to dry and you lose your momentum. If you get into that and you're looking to dry it faster, the beauty of acrylic is you can take a blow dryer and you could just dry every layer as fast as you want it, and it usually dries pretty fast. Now, here's the thing with these. Here's my brushes. I'm going to show you these. Now, I keep my brushes in water all the time, okay? That's just my thing. I don't clean the water very often. Most people are like, that's gross, it's going to ruin my brushes. I mean, what about the bristles and all that? Look, these are tools, okay? Unless you're one of those types that outlines every wrench on your wall that you probably never use. I actually use these. I want these ready when I'm ready. Okay, when I get the feel, I get the itch, I want to get on it. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit there and dig them up and break them in and Brussel them out and whatever. Okay, now there is one thing that Bob Ross used to show us as kids, or at least I remember seeing, is he just whacked the shit out of the thing on a pole on the bottom of his easel. I love that. I love that, and I use that. I actually use old plastic milk crates. Whack that thing across there to get the Brussels nice and clean. That's typically when I'm working on something really big. Since we're in a space where I don't feel like splatter painting my walls, so if you're in an apartment, something like that, this is a better way of going about it. You take your brush, okay, and you pull it out, and it's sopping wet, it's got water. Water gets inside of, let's wipe it off there. Water gets inside of that brass or plastic or whatever they use. Sometimes it's just, you know, crap that's wrapped around it. Doesn't matter. What you do, you take your rag, okay, wrapped around the bottom of that where the seam is, and just give it a little tap. Do that a couple times. The reason why is it gets all that residual water out of there, so it's not actually bleeding into your painting. So when you're actually doing it, you're not getting drips and stuff like that in the middle of creating something beautiful. You may want drips. If you do, hey, add some water. Not a big deal. But I like to keep them in here. Yeah, over time, depending on if they're wood or whatnot, it doesn't really matter. The sheen on the handles will flake. Sometimes the wood will split a little bit. Well, that's fine. These brushes are cheap, okay? I spend no more than $5 on a pack of brushes at a time. I've been using these same ones for about 4 years now, and that's just because I thought I'd treat myself nice and go get something, and I completely ruined the other ones working with enamels and stuff like that. Okay, I don't use chemicals and crap. I use water, I use acrylic. It's easy cleanup, it's nice to work with, and it's very resilient to water. I mean, I've been painting leather jackets, leather vests, stuff like that for years, and it's been working out great, you know. So now I'm going to show you a couple of these brushes that we're going to use tonight, okay? They have multiple purposes, but for what we're doing tonight, these are my favorite go-to brushes, okay? And like I said, these are cheap. It doesn't matter. Go for the shape that you're looking for, and for what we're doing, these are perfect shapes, okay? This one right here, see that? Little fatty round bastard right there. Yeah, you see that? You see that all right? I hope so. Alright, if not, I'll do this whole video over again, and you guys can complain about it in my comments. Okay? And then we've got a little tiny bastard, okay? And it's got just ever so slightly. You see that? I'm really trying to make this work. See that? Just a little guy. Alright? Good for little lines, stuff like that, you know what I mean? I love the ones with edges, like this one. This is one of my favorites. This is great for lines, sharp cuts, you know, just good all around. Alright? Another fatty, see that? That's one of my favorites. That's my medium-sized fatty, and for something like this is perfect. See that? See that? Yeah? Alright. So, I like how I talk to the camera as though you can, actually, I can hear your voices. Alright, here's another one. Okay, that's just a flat line, straight across. Now the thing is, the beauty about these already being moist and wet, I can... If this was Dr. Zombo's world, I would have been laughing my ass off about that one, moist and wet. Perfect. Anyway, the beauty about these already being wet is you can really get your bristles nice and straight, you can get them nice and clean, and they're all ready to go. Okay, water is a beautiful thing when wanting sharpness, when wanting to thin out stuff, when wanting to create lighter imaging. We're going to go into that as we go along. This video might be a little longer than I would like. See that? These little babies right here, I'm not a huge fan of, but gotta always have one, because you never know when you need to dot the inside of an eyeball or, you know, add little hairs or something. I still prefer the one with a nice angle on it, because then you get nice, smooth, you can drag it, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep these out of the water for right now, because we're going to be using those. So that's what we got. We've got cheap paint, we got cheap brushes, we got a cheap cup I got from a really horrible dentist place that I went to, and they try to give me that crap for free to like make me feel better that they're gonna rip me off. And everybody talks about the big giant palette. Now Bob Ross had a huge fucking palette, and the one thing that always made me wonder was like, what a giant glob of paint on there. Now that's oil paint. He also did multiple episodes and multiple paintings at a time. I get it. I'm not doing it. So what I use is coffee can lids, just little plastic coffee can lids, you know what I'm saying? See that? And I build them up. I don't clean that crap. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because there's texture there. You can work your brush bristles through the texture of your old paints, okay? You just take your contrasting paint color and dump it on the darkest spot in the wheel, and you just keep building. And then over time, you get this. You get this piece of crap. But look, you want a clean palette? Wait a year or two. Peel the fucking thing off. You got a clean palette all over again. And you were going to throw them away anyway. Or you're going to throw screws in a thing. Do whatever you want. But this is the way I roll. Look. Old tobacco tin top, you know, it's just plastic. It's crap. You could throw it away. Don't use brand new everything thinking that you're going to become a Da Vinci overnight or something, man. I'm still working away. The day that you think you got it licked and you're just better than anything is the day you've already lost. You'll never be 100% happy with something. You'll be mediocrely happy. And if that is your experience, then you are on the right track, because the day that we think we've got it licked and we are master pros is the day we already lost the challenge. And the challenge is to get the inside out and make it look good to us. Don't make it look good for somebody else. Make it look good to you, because if it looks good to you, somebody else can tell that that's real. Real is always better than made up. Don't force yourself to paint every single day. Don't do any of that crap. Just when the time strikes you, jump on it. Okay? So give me a minute. I'm gonna get us a different angle around here. Sorry, I had some Indian food and just keeps, you know what I'm saying? Alright, I'll be right back. So what I've done is I grabbed one of my palettes. Okay? This one had a bunch of black and green, old school, but I wanted something a little darker so I could, you know, see exactly where I'm putting my stuff and be able to keep it separated. This area right here, all that is just a fresh little dabble or do or whatever of fucking paint. Okay? What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use very little bit of that. I'm going to use this tiny little brush right here. It's not huge, it's kind of flat, it's got a little bit of curvature to it, you know. You can see exactly okay, kind of blurry. Sorry about that. But that's what I'm using, okay? Because up here, I want to make sure that I can just kind of let go, okay? We're going to do a lot of circular patterns, a lot of line patterns, a lot of squigglies and whatnot, because we're going to build on that. We're gonna make some depth here, okay? So I'm gonna keep that brush flat, okay? I'm gonna impregnate both sides, you know, just get it enough, okay? And this is so fine and thin. We're gonna go to town with that, all right? Okay. So, you know, just let your hand kind of rotate around, you know, just let it dance for you, okay? You don't have to do anything in particular, alright? A little more paint here. All we're doing is we're starting somewhere, okay? As you can see, I'm going to use a little bit here. Now don't be worried. You're probably sitting there going like, well, yeah, it's chaos, it's also crap. But you never know what this may turn out to be, okay? I like to add a little this, a little that, you know, little squiggles here and there. I'm already seeing stuff. And see, you'll see lighter lines and brighter lines and whatever, dude. Don't worry about it, okay? We're scribbling with this one, all right? And then we're gonna beef it up a little bit with different sized brushes. Okay, let's get something over here too, you know, maybe get a couple lines in. You never know, those might come in handy later. Now you may already be seeing stuff popping out at you. That's the beauty of the chaos. Okay, it's what do you see and how do you see it? Okay, like I'm already seeing all kinds of weird little crap. Okay, and I really have no direction right now. I'm just letting my mind wander. Okay, now that we've got that, let's throw that brush. Let's at least make sure it's in the water nice and clean. Okay, now I'm going to go back through, and I've already cleaned up and pretty much dried out. Pretty much. It's a little moist, not much. Okay, we're going to use this. Alright, and I'm going to go on some circular motions. And now you're probably saying to yourself, well, it's not doing much of anything now, is it? Well, it is, ever so lightly. Okay, what we're doing is we're taking the bits and we're really just pushing paint here. That's what we're doing. We're dropping paint, we're pushing paint. Okay, alright, now you know, you see a spot and you're like, ooh, I could embellish on that or whatever. That's the beauty of this. Okay, it's the beauty of chaos painting. Alright, now that really doesn't look like much. Here, let's change the lighting tiny bit, see if maybe you could see that a little bit better. Hey, that's looking good. See, you got some depth. I don't want to throw you off too much there. And I mean, we're working really close up, all right? But hey, I'm going to leave that brush right where it is. No, I am not going to clean that off. We did not actually do anything too heavy, so it's not loaded down with paint, all right? We're going to use a slightly bit bigger brush. We're going to use the mini fatty. Okay, I want you to look at that. Do you see how little bit of paint is on there? Now the texture on your palette, you brush across that a couple times on that dark black and you already see how much paint you got on your brush. You don't need much. Okay, alright, look at that. Okay, see that little spot to the left there? I mean, that's pretty damn full, don't you think? Alright, now I'm going to do this. Watch. See that texture? You can see, you know, let's clean some of that out. Alright, you're going to get a nice bit of paint on there without even trying. Okay, now I love to work in circles. Circles, you know what I mean? Circles help. Everything we see, circles of some sort. Eyes, faces, giant tits. I didn't say that. Yes, I did. Because it doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter. We're just having a good time here. Alright? Let's get some over here. I want a little bit more over there. And this, I'm going to beef up a little bit more. But you can work it. You know what I mean? You can work it. Now you're probably saying, oh, you're painting over some of the lines that you made. Who cares? They're going to come in handy later. Okay? Now, I'm getting bristles all over. Don't worry about it. Just brush them off. Maybe that little act of you doing so may give you something cool. And some of it is because I've been using these brushes for a while. You know? Keep your rag near hand. And you can just kind of work through, you know? If you want, add a tiny bit of water or something if you need to. I personally don't feel like I'm there yet. Okay, but I am creating a backdrop for something better. I don't know what it's going to be. It may not be anything recognizable, but it will look cool to me, and that's all that matters. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Okay, I know that's really close up. I know it is. I'm trying to work through a lens while doing this. Now, doesn't seem like much, okay? Doesn't seem like much. Let's get up over here too. Now, I don't want too much because I might actually end up using that later on. Okay, actually, we're going to use that right now. I'm going to use the big line brush. It said that was my favorite. See? Oh, that ain't it either. Ain't that some shit? Professional. That's what I am. I'm a professional. I hate that word, professional. Just means you get paid too much for not actually doing your job. Or somebody deemed you professional at some given point, and then yeah, you just kind of gave up because you made too much money. Alright, cleaning off some of the bristles there, okay? Now, when you're chaos painting, you know, you don't have to do it just like this. You can throw paper towels that are wet full of paint. You could do what you want, you know. I'm going to just give little textures here and there because I'm going to dig on it and figure out where, ooh, I like that, you know, there's something coming through over here. Got this ghosting imaging over here. Oh yeah, see, you know, you just never know what you're gonna find. You know, I'm seeing some stuff, and you got those lines over here. Let's add a couple more. Let's just give it some feel. You know, oh, that looks like something we could use. Okay, I'm starting to wonder what that's going to be. It almost looks like a hat going on. You know what I mean? Here it is. You know what I'm saying? You're slowly coming up with something. What is it? Who knows? But hell, I mean, I think I see something emerging here. You know what I mean? Can you see it? Take some time. Look at that. What do you see in it? I know what I see in it. Well, what do you see in it? That's the beauty of it, okay? As you can see, because the black in the background, well, we start creating a whole thing, okay? You start seeing faces. You start noticing little creations here, you know? It doesn't have to be anything in particular. At the same time, once you see something, roll with it, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. Let's see, got a little hat going here. Let me scoot out a little bit, okay? You see? Step back and look, and you start seeing stuff. Okay? That's the beauty of chaos paint. Okay? You see the depth in here. Okay? We can embellish on all of this. Alright? Okay, I'm going to try to get this at a better angle so you can see this. Just stare at that for a minute. And we're back. You might have to just deal with some handheld here for a little bit because I'm really digging on what we're seeing, you know, or what I'm seeing. You may see something different, but I'm just going to embellish on what I see. You know what I mean? I see a cool little fucking jazzy dude over here doing his thing. You know? You got the cool mouth. You know what I mean? I like it. I almost call that good just there. No, I wouldn't. At the same time, you can kind of see. It's almost like he's spitting out some jazzy notes or something. But you know what? I like what's going on over here too. So, you know, I'm going to give it some depth. I'm going to go a little heavier. Now let's see. I kind of dig on that too. You know? It doesn't matter, man. You just create. Oh, see, he's got a hat going, you know what I mean? You see a little, you know, fishing hat or something like that. Maybe a witch hat. Who knows? Let's see where he takes us later, you know? And see how we got the ghosting? You see that? You see all this crazy smoke-looking stuff over here, man? There's all kinds of cool stuff happening in here. That's the beauty. Oh, look, there's another guy here. He's got almost like a cat nose thing going. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. You know? Yeah, some howling monkey or something, you know what I mean? To give him some teeth, or, you know, just be a kid, have fun with it, you know? It's like Bob Ross on some bad acid trip with schizophrenia, you know what I mean? Who cares? You know? But you can kind of see where I'm going with this. You know? There doesn't have to be a rhyme or reason. You know? Why? Here, you know, we can completely demolish this painting if we wanted to. You know? I'm going to show you something over there. That's a oldie but a goodie. It still just kind of helps. And I'll show you what I'm talking about later. We'll use that as an example just for the hell of it. No, it's not cobwebs. You'd be surprised how intricate you can get with some of this crap and not even realize it. You know. But I want those ghosted lines. I don't want everything bold, because later on we're going to make that a thing. Okay? Now, I want you to stare at that for a few. I keep saying that, but that is half the battle. This is the first step to chaos painting. Now, we're only working in a very small area of this chunk of wood. Let me back that out. See that? But the further back, the more you start seeing. Okay, that's when you embellish on these things. Alright? That's where you get going. Okay? You may not see what I see. You may honestly look at this and be like, what the hell is that? I don't know, but now I see something. Out of chaos comes order. And tonight, I think I'm going to end right there. I think that's enough to get you started. The next time that we get together, I'm going to embellish on some of this. I may do a tiny bit more chaos to it, just to give it more. I will talk to you soon, my friends. Happy painting, and stay fucking weird. Stay away from the passé shitty world out there, and don't let it overwhelm you. Because you know what? As long as you got a heart and you got a soul and you got hands and you got your third eye blinking and wide open, you can create anything, whenever, however. Art has no fucking stop signs. Run that bitch even if it's a complete wreck. Love you. See you next time.